Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a frustration that almost everyone who has ever tried to meditate knows all too well: the struggle to stay consistent. You know that feeling, right? Like you're taking one step forward and then maybe two steps back with your practice. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place. So let's just start with the big question. Why is it so hard? I mean, you've got the app, you've got the cushion, you have the absolute best intentions, but for some reason, actually sticking with it day in and day out feels like a huge uphill battle. What is going on? We tell ourselves all kinds of stories, don't we? I'm too busy, I'm too tired, or maybe the one that stings a little: I'm just lazy. But according to the source material from meditation teacher Girish Jha, these are just symptoms. The real root cause is a concept he calls mental hangovers. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by really unpacking this consistency problem. Then we'll get into what these mental hangovers actually are, and then we'll dive into the good stuff: a practical toolkit, including a 3-step PET method and a really cool technique called gentle insistence. It's all about building a practice that you can actually stick with. All right, first things first. If we're going to solve this problem, we have to understand the internal tug-of-war that's happening basically every time we even think about sitting down to meditate. The source material gives us this really powerful metaphor. Picture your mind like a river. In that river, there are two currents. One is super strong, it's familiar, and it's always pulling you back to your default settings. You know, your old habits, the usual distractions, your automatic reactions. But then there's this other current, the one you're trying to follow. That's the one that leads to new awareness and real change. The whole struggle for consistency, it's really just the battle between these two currents. And that really powerful current of old habits? Well, that's the source of what our guide, Girish Jha, says is the real villain of the story: the mental hangover. So, what in the world is a mental hangover? It's the gunk left over from your default mind. All those lingering ego attachments, biases, and emotions that haven't been sorted out yet, and they just cloud your clarity. It's the reason you sit down to meditate, but your mind instantly jumps to that argument you had yesterday, or that stressful meeting you've got next week. This quote just illustrates it perfectly. A mental hangover is basically like a layer of dust on a mirror. The clear reflection you're looking for, that feeling of peace or focus, it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just totally obscured by all this lingering mental clutter. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it's that procrastination. It's that negative self-talk that whispers, "I'm gonna fail anyway." It's that sudden wave of exhaustion or that feeling of a brick wall of resistance that pops up right before you practice. The key takeaway here is that these aren't character flaws. They're just the symptoms of an active mental hangover. Okay, so we've named the problem. Now, what do we actually do about it? Well, the first tool in our kit is a super simple but really powerful pre-meditation routine. Think of it like a warm-up. The source calls this the 3-step preparatory method. So before you even begin your real practice, you do this. Step 1, you consciously ground your physical body. Get your place, position, and posture right. Step 2, you shift your focus inward, just to the simple sensation of comfort in your body. And step 3, you practice being carefree, just noticing thoughts as they float on by, without getting hooked. It's a deliberate shift from the crazy outside world to your inner world. And check this out, here's the payoff. Taking just 10 minutes to do these prep steps can make a 30-minute practice feel so much deeper and more effective. In fact, the source notes that this simple routine can add up to 40 minutes of quality, focused time to your session. Why? Because you're not spending the first half of your meditation just wrestling with all those mental hangovers. Okay, so you've done your prep, you've started meditating, and then boom, your mind wanders off anyway. It's going to happen. And this is where our next technique comes in. It's called gentle insistence. So when your mind gets distracted, trying to force it back to focus is kind of like yelling at a puppy. It just doesn't work. It creates more resistance, more frustration, and honestly, it often makes you just want to quit. Gentle insistence is the total opposite. It's all about patience, it's calm, and it strengthens your focus over time without having to get into a fight with yourself. This analogy from the source material is, well, it's perfect. Your attention is a playful puppy. It's what it does. It wanders. And your job isn't to scold it or force it to sit still. Your job is just to notice it has strayed, and then gently, patiently guide it back. Again, and again, and again. And here's how you actually do it. It's a simple 4-step loop you can just repeat. First, you inquire by just acknowledging, oh, hey, I'm distracted. Second, you identify what it is, a thought, a feeling, whatever. Third, you slow down. Just take a breath instead of immediately reacting. And finally, you redirect your attention back to your anchor, like your breath. That's it. You just run that loop as many times as you need to. All right, let's zoom out for the final piece of the puzzle. Because all these techniques work best when they're part of a bigger, more forgiving mindset. Remember, consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. You know, a really key insight from the source is that sometimes our own ego can be our worst enemy here. It's that little voice inside that says, I should be meditating for an hour every single day, perfectly. It wants a gold medal for best meditator after like 1 week. And this demand for instant perfection, it's a total trap that just leads to burnout. See, the ego wants those heroic, hour-long sessions. But what actually builds a lasting habit are regular, short sessions. The ego demands perfect consistency, but what really works is a flexible, forgiving mindset that rolls with the punches of real life. It wants these huge results right now, but real change, that's gradual, it's sustainable, and it's built one day at a time. Which, of course, brings us to this moment, because it is going to happen. You are going to miss a day. So does that mean you've failed? Is all your progress just gone? Absolutely not. No way. The key is to completely reframe that moment. Missing a day is not a failure, it is an opportunity. It's a chance to practice that same gentle insistence, but this time on yourself. It's a chance to reinforce your commitment. So this is what the long game looks like. You start to see being busy as just another mental hangover to manage. You let go of the guilt. The source even suggests if you miss a day, maybe you just try a couple of really short sessions the next day to get back in the rhythm. The focus shifts away from perfection and toward persistent, gentle engagement. This isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about building resilience instead of resentment. So at the end of the day, the path to a consistent practice isn't about having more willpower. It's about having better tools and a gentler mindset. It's about identifying your own personal mental hangovers, using preparation to clear the path, and applying gentle insistence when you inevitably get distracted. It's really about treating yourself like that playful puppy. So the question to leave you with is this: what mental hangover, that procrastination, that self-talk, that distraction, what will you choose to gently guide back today?